When a power-hungry cop pulled his gun on the wrong woman, he never expected her FBI badge to be real, or that his badge would be the next one taken away. The camera pans to a black SUV driving down the street. Inside, Agent Dana Harper, a sharp, confident black woman in her mid-30s, is on her phone, speaking calmly but urgently. She's dressed in a sleek pantsuit, her FBI badge clipped to her belt. The camera cuts to a police cruiser parked on the side of the road. Officer Brad Collins, a smug, middle-aged white cop with a reputation for being overly aggressive, notices the SUV and decides to pull it over. Officer Collins, muttering to himself, "Let's see what we've got here." He flips on his sirens and the SUV pulls over. Dana sighs, annoyed but composed, as she ends her call and rolls down her window. Collins approaches the vehicle, his hand resting on his holstered gun. "Officer Collins, sternly, license and registration, ma'am." Dana, calmly, "Is there a problem, officer?" Officer Collins, sneering, "You were speeding. Now license and registration, please." Dana reaches for her glove compartment, but Collins suddenly tenses, his hand tightening on his gun. Officer Collins, shouting, "Keep your hands where I can see them." "Bow, Dana," raising her hands slowly. "Officer, I'm just getting my registration. I'm an FBI agent." She gestures to her badge, but Collins laughs dismissively. "Officer Collins, mocking, FBI? Yeah, right. You expect me to believe that? Out of the car now." The tension in the air is palpable as Dana Harper steps out of her SUV, her hands raised in a calm but deliberate manner. Her eyes lock onto Officer Collins, who stands a few feet away, his hand still resting on his holstered gun. Dana's posture is firm, her years of FBI training evident in the way she carries herself. She knows how to handle high-pressure situations, but she also knows the risks of dealing with an overly aggressive officer like Collins. Collins, on the other hand, is visibly enjoying the power dynamic. His smirk widens as he steps closer, his tone dripping with condescension. "You're under arrest for impersonating a federal officer," he declares, his voice loud enough for the growing crowd to hear. "Turn around and put your hands behind your back." Dana doesn't flinch. Instead, she maintains eye contact, her voice steady but firm. "Officer, I'm going to reach for my badge. Don't do anything stupid," she warns. Her words are measured, but there's an edge to them, a clear signal that she's not someone to be trifled with. Before Collins can react, Dana slowly moves her hand toward her belt, where her FBI badge is clipped. She pulls it out and holds it up, the gold emblem catching the sunlight. For a brief moment there's silence as Collins squints at the badge, his expression shifting from smug to incredulous. Then he bursts into laughter, a harsh, mocking sound that echoes down the street. "Nice try, lady," he sneers, his voice laced with sarcasm. "You think you can just flash a fake badge and walk away? Not on my watch." The crowd, now fully engaged in the scene, murmurs in confusion and concern. Some pull out their phones to record the encounter, while others exchange worried glances. Dana remains calm, but her patience is wearing thin. She knows she's in the right, but she also knows how quickly situations like this can spiral out of control. Collins, emboldened by his own arrogance, steps forward and grabs her arm, attempting to cuff her. But Dana is ready. With a swift, practiced motion, she twists out of his grip, her training kicking in. The crowd gasps as Collins stumbles back, his face red with anger and embarrassment. Realizing he's losing control of the situation, Collins draws his gun, pointing it directly at Dana. "Don't move or I'll shoot," he yells, his voice trembling with a mix of rage and panic. Dana freezes, her hands raised once again, but her expression remains unshaken. "You're making a huge mistake," she says coldly, her voice cutting through the tension like a knife. The standoff feels like it lasts an eternity, though only seconds have passed. The crowd holds its breath, unsure of what will happen next. But just as the situation seems poised to explode, the sound of screeching tires breaks the silence. Two black SUVs come barreling down the street, their sirens blaring. The words FBI are emblazoned on the sides, and within moments, 4 agents in tactical gear jump out, their weapons drawn. Collins's face pales as he realizes the gravity of his mistake. The tables have turned and the power dynamic has shifted in an instant. Dana, still standing tall, lowers her hands slightly and looks at Collins with a mixture of pity and resolve. "I told you," she says quietly. "You're under arrest." The scene is a powerful reminder of the consequences of unchecked authority and the importance of accountability. As the FBI agents move in to disarm and cuff Collins, the crowd erupts in a mix of cheers and murmurs, their phones still recording every moment of the dramatic confrontation. The tension on the quiet suburban street reaches its breaking point as Officer Collins stands with his gun pointed at Dana Harper, his face a mask of anger and desperation. The crowd, now fully gathered, watches in stunned silence, their phones recording every second of the unfolding drama. Dana remains calm, her hands raised, but her eyes never leave Collins. She knows that one wrong move could escalate the situation further, but she also knows that help is on the way. Just as Collins opens his mouth to bark another command, the sound of screeching tires cuts through the air like a knife. 2 unmarked black SUVs come barreling down the street, their sirens blaring and lights flashing. The vehicles skid to a halt, blocking the road, and 4 FBI agents in full tactical gear leap out, their weapons drawn and trained on Collins. The lead agent, a tall, broad-shouldered man with a no-nonsense demeanor, steps forward, his voice booming with authority. "Drop your weapon, now," he commands, his tone leaving no room for negotiation. Collins freezes, his gun still pointed at Dana, but his confidence evaporates in an instant. His face pales as he realizes the gravity of his mistake. The crowd gasps, their murmurs growing louder as they watch the scene unfold. Collins's hands begin to tremble, and for a moment, it seems like he might resist. But the sight of 4 heavily armed FBI agents, their weapons trained on him, is enough to break his resolve. Slowly, Collins lowers his gun, his movements stiff and deliberate. The lead FBI agent steps forward, disarming him with practiced ease, while another agent moves in to cuff him. Collins's smug demeanor is gone, replaced by a look of sheer panic and disbelief. He stammers, trying to explain himself, but no words come out. Dana, still standing tall and composed, steps forward, her FBI badge still in hand. She looks at Collins with a mixture of pity and resolve, her voice calm but firm. "Officer Collins, you're under arrest for assaulting a federal agent and unlawful use of a firearm," she declares, her words carrying the weight of authority. The crowd erupts in a mix of cheers and murmurs, their phones capturing every moment of the dramatic confrontation. Some people clap, while others shake their heads in disbelief. The tension that had gripped the street just moments ago begins to dissipate, replaced by a sense of relief and vindication. As the FBI agents lead Collins to one of the SUVs, Dana takes a deep breath, her shoulders relaxing slightly. She knows that this incident could have ended very differently, and she's grateful for the timely arrival of her colleagues. But she also knows that this is just one example of a much larger issue, one that she's determined to address. The scene ends with Collins being placed in the back of the SUV, his head hung low in shame. Dana watches as the vehicle drives away, her expression a mix of relief and determination. The crowd begins to disperse, but the impact of what they've just witnessed will linger for a long time. This moment is a powerful reminder of the importance of accountability and the consequences of unchecked authority. It's a turning point, not just for Collins, but for everyone who witnessed the confrontation. And for Dana, it's a reaffirmation of her commitment to justice, no matter the cost. The scene shifts to the local police station, where the weight of the day's events begins to settle. Officer Brad Collins sits in a small, dimly lit interrogation room, his hands cuffed to the table in front of him. His once smug demeanor has completely evaporated, replaced by a hollow look of regret and disbelief. He stares at the table, his mind racing as he replays the events that led him here. The sound of the door opening snaps him out of his thoughts, and he looks up to see 2 FBI agents entering the room. Outside the interrogation room, Dana Harper stands in the hallway, her arms crossed, as she speaks with her supervisor, Agent Mark Harris. Harris is a seasoned FBI veteran, his sharp features and no-nonsense attitude reflecting years of experience. His voice is low but firm as he addresses Dana. Agent Harris, sternly. "This is a serious breach of protocol, Harper. We'll make sure he's held accountable. But you know how these things go. It's not just about him. It's about the system that let him think he could get away with this." Dana, nodding. "I know, and that's why we can't let this slide. This isn't just about me. It's about every person he's ever harassed or intimidated. It's about sending a message that no one is above the law." Harris studies her for a moment, then gives a curt nod. "You did good out there, Harper. Stay sharp. We'll handle it from here." As Harris walks away, Dana takes a deep breath, her mind still processing the day's events. She knows this incident will have far-reaching consequences, not just for Collins, but for the entire community. The camera pans to a nearby television where a news report is playing. The anchor's voice fills the room as footage of the confrontation plays on the screen. News anchor on TV. In a shocking turn of events today, a local police officer was arrested after allegedly assaulting an FBI agent during a routine traffic stop. The incident, which was captured on video by bystanders, has sparked outrage and renewed calls for police accountability. Dana watches the report for a moment, her expression unreadable. She knows this story will dominate the news cycle for days, if not weeks. It's a reminder of the deep-seated issues within law enforcement and the work that still needs to be done. The camera cuts to a wider shot of the police station, where reporters and camera crews have gathered outside, clamoring for answers. The scene is chaotic, with flashing lights and shouted questions filling the air. Inside, Dana walks down the hallway, her badge glinting in the fluorescent light. She passes by a bulletin board filled with flyers and notices a wanted poster for a suspect in an unrelated case. It's a stark reminder that her work is far from over. As she steps outside, the noise of the reporters grows louder. Dana pauses for a moment, taking in the scene. She knows this is just the beginning, a small victory in a much larger fight. But for now, she allows herself a moment of quiet satisfaction. She did her job, and she did it well. Dana, as she walks away, her silhouette framed against the setting sun. The screen fades to black, leaving the audience with a sense of closure but also a lingering question. What happens next? This final scene underscores the themes of justice, accountability, and the ongoing struggle for systemic change. It's a powerful conclusion to a story that resonates deeply in today's world, leaving viewers with both hope and a call to action.